Welcome. In this session we're going to do some massage of the back with the tennis balls. So what you'll need for this session is 3 tennis balls and 2 socks will be convenient. And who hasn't got sometimes aches and pains in their back muscles, shoulders? You'll hear me talking about the sacrum, so the triangular bone at the base of the spine or bones, the lumbar spine, so the lower arch where our kidneys sit, and the upper back up to the top of the neck, and also the shoulder blades. We won't work directly on the shoulder blades, but the shoulders work a lot and get lots of tension, lots of hunching up and carrying and working on the computer, so we often have tension in our shoulders. We will explore how that feels, we'll work on the muscles and also find what we call trigger points. So sometimes a trigger point can refer the pain to another place. The point may be here in your shoulder and it's sending pain to another area. So watch out for trigger points. Sometimes we're going to stay slowly on those points and breathe. And I remind you again, go very gently. This is quite an intense part of the massage. It can make us feel tired, sleepy, a little lightheaded. So take a rest after you've explored the mechanics, then taking a rest every now and then. So we'll start by just warming up a little with anybody who's familiar with yoga, gentle yoga posture, laying on your back. Bring your knees into your chest, let your head rest on the ground, and just rock gently from side to side, warming up the muscles of the back. Maybe you take a deep breath in and out. Okay, and then just pressing gently the knees towards the belly. And notice if there are any parts of your back which are going to really appreciate some extra massage today. We're going to roll. If this is in your mobility, go ahead and do this. Otherwise, just continue with the last posture. So we're going to inhale and roll back and exhale and roll forward. And you'll see that we're covering the length of the back as we do that. And maybe we finish in this position, just hugging the knees into the chest. So we have our socks and our tennis ball. So taking 1 sock, we're going to put 2 tennis balls in there. And then we're going to tie a knot. And when I work with shiatsu, I use fingers as to apply pressure on points or to stimulate acupressure points, and the balls inside here have a similar effect, so just applying a little pressure and they feel surprisingly pointy. So we're going to use the ball down either side of the spine. So we're going to start close to the base of the spine and just bring the balls close to your bony part here and then lay back onto your elbows, taking the weight on your elbows. Then, so we're going from the hip bones to the sacrum. So we're going to go in a downward movement where we need to lift up and just roll. And the balls are just here. So we're using the ground and our body to apply a gentle pressure. It might be a bit ouchy, might be a bit sore. Watch out for that. Go as far down as it feels comfortable, and you'll notice that you might need to continue to adjust your position. You might come across a point and you find a position yourself where you can stay on that point. Okay, so from there we're going to move up into the muscly part of the lumbar. So we're going to roll up and down. The balls are now just under here. And so again, we take our weight onto our elbows, lift the hips away from the floor and roll through the more muscly part of the spine. I'm not touching the spine with the balls. I have enough space there to stimulate the muscles of the spine. And then we're going to test our flexibility and just bring our arms onto the floor so that we can roll the balls a little higher up. And this can be a very sensitive part. We're more close to here, so we're closer to the kidneys, and so very gently, just lifting up, and don't forget to breathe. Big deep breath. And I suggest you start very slowly with this whole back area. Okay, and then we just take our weight again and we move the balls slightly higher up. We're coming up between our shoulder blades. So we're going to support ourselves again on our wrists or our hands, and then just lift. So we're taking nearly all of our upper body weight now onto the balls. It might be that you want to support your lower hips with your hands, and that might feel really nice going all the way up to the top. I can start to feel those. We might support our head with our hands, and I can feel those points that get a lot of tension just at either side of the top of the spine between the shoulder blades. And sometimes the balls might just roll away, so just repositioning that where necessary. And then let's come a little bit higher up still. We're not going to go into the underneath the head, just up towards the top of the shoulders, and it helps if you lift your head away from the floor. And don't worry if you're not able to follow this on the floor. I'm going to show you an alternative in a moment, and this is quite intense, so taking it easy. Okay, and then I'm going to just roll onto the side and just take a moment to feel what we've released. I also want to show you how to work one shoulder and around one shoulder blade on the floor. So we're going to use one ball in the sock, and then we have a little bit of control of the ball. So we're going to put the one ball, and you might know your trigger points. We're going to put one ball just to the medial side of the shoulder blade, so closer to the spine, and we can roll our body from side to side, maybe keeping the head on the floor so it's not straining, and really pinpointing our own trigger points. Your body knows where it feels good. The other thing we can do is to use the arm to exert a little pressure in the right place. Just moving that changes the position of the muscles. And perhaps just right here, let me show you, right on the top of the shoulder blade there and slightly down, so about 2 fingers away from the ridge in the center, a point that collects a lot of stress, a great point to work with the tennis ball. So again, I'm just lifting up off the floor to get a little pressure onto that point, which will bring me some relaxation. So I'll let you explore your own shoulder blade. And of course, we want to do that on the other side too. So noticing where we want to place the ball here. We can hold the ball so it doesn't float away from us. And just maneuvering our body to roll. And using our arm to the outside. And maybe above our head or opening it out. And it will change your mobility because there's a tennis ball there, so maybe you can't reach your arm completely upwards. So just listening into what feels good. And again, not forgetting the point on the top of the shoulder. And just a reminder about this point on the top of the shoulder, contraindicated in pregnancy. So for yourselves or for your clients or students, not stimulating that point if you're pregnant. So I'm going to show you the alternative. And remember, this part of the massage through the back would be contraindicated for pregnancy, so not advisable to do this when you are pregnant or your students or clients. So I'm going to show you how we can do this standing against the wall. So we take the double tennis ball and we take that to our sacrum, just here, either side, and we can just roll up and down. And it's about positioning the ball in just the right place. So if it's not comfortable on the floor, this would be a good position to work in. And then we move the ball slightly higher up into the lumbar spine, and we're going to bend our knees. So it's a little too high up. I'm coming down further because we want to be able to roll up and down, relaxing the rest of your body and just rolling through those muscles. So depending on just how far it's comfortable to squat, you could go all the way through the spine, and there's a point where the balls are not moving any higher up, so then we need to move the balls higher up, and then we can, just relaxing our hands at the front, come in between the shoulder blades. And that's reaching almost to the top of the shoulder blades, so I'm going to bring the balls from the top, place them close to the back of the neck, and just rolling through the very top areas of the shoulders before we reach the neck. And you're just going to find the points that need to, and you'll know if you've missed out any areas that need some attention. So just so we can also use the one tennis ball here, very handy in the sock here, so we can bring that onto the point just between the shoulder blade and the spine. We can lean against the wall and we can just find those points that feel juicy behind the shoulder blade. And again, we could just move the arm and notice where that feels comfortable. We could bring it up to the top and find the point here at the top of our shoulder and slightly direction of the ground. and making some circles there, and not forgetting to breathe. So we would also go to the opposite side and make sure we have balance in both sides of the body. And I'd love to hear any new positions that you find to be able to access those trigger points. So that's the end of our session for the back. I hope you enjoy. Take lots of care. Notice if you feel sleepy afterwards and take a nap. And please drink lots of water after this session. Thank you.